Long before the world discovered iron, before the Hittites of Anatolia mastered metal, before Rome rose to power, deep in Tamil Nadu, a civilization was already forging swords from some of the finest iron on the planet. New archaeological discoveries are rewriting history, placing Tamil Nadu's iron technology at least 5,300 years old, and at the heart of it, a lost world of iron swords. Swords from southern India, swords from Tamil Nadu. For the longest time, historians believed iron making spread from Anatolia through Central Asia and eventually reached India around 1000 BC. But the latest excavations in Tamil Nadu tell a very different story. At Mailadumparai, iron artifacts have been dated back to 2172 BC. At Mangadu, an iron sword found in a burial site was dated to 1604 to 1416 BC. And at Sivagalai, we have scientific proof now that Tamil Nadu's iron culture is as old as 3345 BC, making it one of the earliest centers of metallurgy in the world. Tamil Nadu was not just using iron, it was mastering it. The swords found at Tamil Nadu's burial sites tell an incredible story. These weren't crude iron blades, they were meticulously crafted weapons designed for warriors who wielded them in battle. One sword from Telangana in Salem district has revealed something extraordinary. It's made from high carbon steel, an early version of what later became wood steel, the very metal that went on to create the legendary Damascus swords. And yet, this was being produced right here in Tamil Nadu, thousands of years ago. How did the Tamils produce such high quality iron when most civilizations around the world were still struggling with copper and bronze? The answer lies in their furnaces. Kodumanal and Perungalur were home to ancient smelting furnaces perfected to reach temperatures of 1300 degrees Celsius. This is a big deal. These sites contained huge iron slag mounds, proving large-scale iron production. Tamil blacksmiths knew how to control carbon levels, making the iron stronger, more flexible, and resistant to rust. Iron swords were not just tools of war, they were symbols of power. This isn't just a local story. Tamil Nadu's iron technology was an international sensation. Sangam era literature describes Tamil warriors carrying iron-tipped spears and swords. Ancient Roman and Arab traders bought South Indian iron and steel, carrying it across the Mediterranean and Middle East. By the early centuries, Tamil Nadu's wood steel was being shipped out, influencing sword making from Persia to Europe. And now, with new discoveries, we are beginning to realize just how deep this history goes. The exceptional quality of wood steel from Tamil Nadu did not just captivate warriors and traders, it also intrigued scientists and blacksmiths across the globe. By the 17th century, European travelers were documenting the advanced steel production techniques they observed in South India. One of the most renowned scientists of the 19th century, Michael Faraday, was particularly fascinated by wood steel. Yes, Faraday, the same guy who invented electricity. Along with this chap called James Stoddart, Faraday conducted extensive experiments to understand wood steel's unique properties. They hypothesized that the addition of certain elements like aluminium oxide and silica contributed to the steel's remarkable characteristics. Although Faraday and Stoddart could not replicate the exact properties of wood steel, their research laid the groundwork for modern alloy science. The ancient metallurgists of Tamil Nadu, through their pioneering creation of wood steel, had inadvertently ignited a scientific curiosity that propelled advancements in metallurgy, connecting ancient craftsmanship with modern science. Today, when we think of India's ancient achievements, we remember temples, art, and literature. But what about iron? Tamil Nadu's iron swords are proof that history isn't always what we were taught. Long before the Industrial Revolution, long before Rome, before China's Iron Age, Tamil Nadu was already shaping metal, forging swords that could slice through armor, blades that shimmered with swirling patterns made of wood steel, India's ancient super metal. One of the most famous wood steel swords, some experts believe, belonged to Tipu Sultan, the 18th century ruler of Mysore. Believed to have been forged from wood steel, it was so sharp apparently that British soldiers reported it could cut through their muskets. But after Tipu's defeat in 1799, the sword was taken as a war trophy. But the legacy of iron swords was not limited to one king or conqueror. South India has countless versions of really deadly weapons wielded by some of the bravest men born in India. For example, the Khanda. It's a straight double-edged sword wielded by the Rajputs and the Marathas, but also found in South Indian temples as a symbol of divine power. Then here is the Ayudha Katti, a unique weapon of the Kodava warriors of Karnataka, curved and lethal. The Mopla sword, also known as the Sumral Khanjar, is a broad single-edged blade carried by the Muslim Mappila fighters of Kerala. The Kayamkulam Val is considered to be a masterpiece from Kerala, used by the Nayar warriors deadly and elegant in equal measure. Then there is the pata, a gauntlet sword extending a warrior's reach and offering protection at the same time. While associated with the Marathas, it is also known in South India. In the Battle of Pratapgarh, one of Shivaji's bodyguards is said to have cut off the arm of a Mughal soldier using a pata. Many thousands of miles away in the lap of the Himalaya, there was another deadly sword being used by the men in the Himalayan kingdom of Nepal. It's called the kukri. The kukri also has a story of its own of how this piece of blade conquered some of the world's most famous theatres of war. So folks, that was the story of Tamil Nadu's iron swords, a legacy of metallurgy, warfare and scientific curiosity that shaped history in ways we are only beginning to understand. From the battlefields of ancient India to the laboratories of Michael Faraday, from the hands of Sangam era warriors to the global fascination with wood steel, Tamil Nadu's iron mystery is a story that deserves to be